My name's Deena, I'm a paramedic, and a patient plunged an 8-inch knife into my chest.
My name is James Busby. I'm a hairdresser. When people sit in the chair, all I know is their name, never their story. Bring it all to the surface.
Yeah.
Next in the chair is Deena. Hey, you must be Deena.
Yes.
James, nice to meet you. How are you, okay?
Good, thanks.
Come take a seat. So you got extensions in?
Yeah.
So if I do like a bit more of like a soft like wave through it, it'd be really nice, almost like really understated, give it a little bit of movement, make the haircut pop, and just give it a bit more interest for the rest of the day.
Okay.
What do you do for work?
I work for West Midlands Ambulance Service. I'm a paramedic.
Paramedic, interesting.
So I used to work on the road, so I was frontline. I came off the road a couple of years ago.
Why did you decide to change?
I was attacked on a job, near fatally.
Wow.
We were the first UK paramedics to have been stabbed.
Would you give me a bit more detail on what happened, if you're happy to talk about it?
Yeah. So we were called to a patient, Martin Smith, on the 6th of July in 2021 for a concern for welfare. So I tapped on the door and I just said, "Hello, ambulance service,
Yes.
Are you okay?" And as I tapped on the door and pushed the door open, he jumped from behind the kitchen door with a knife in each hand and stabbed me twice in the chest.
Oh my God.
The whole scenario lasted 12 seconds from start to finish.
That's awful to watch that video.
My crewmate had obviously clocked what had happened, shoved me out of the way, at which point then I heard him shout, "I've been stabbed." So I grabbed his collar and pulled him out of the way, but I didn't think I'd been stabbed. I thought I'd just been pushed. And I thought, God, my t-shirt's really wet, like my uniform was really wet and sticky. So I'd got gloves on, and as I patted myself down, I looked at my gloves and I saw that they were red, and you start to sort of shake, and I was trying to figure out where the blood was coming from. And as I pulled my t-shirt away, I saw that I had a big hole in my chest. That was it.
Oh, wow. What knife did he have?
You know, like your big kitchen chopping knives. So it's about that long, and then the base of it was about that wide. It went through and just caught the back of my shoulder blade.
After that happened, what happened from
I just
there?
bolted.
What, sort of a panic thing? Just
Yeah.
get away from it, yeah.
It's like fight or flight, and I just ran into his garden, got as far as I could, which was probably about 20 steps.
Right.
Before I collapsed. The police were then tasering the patient.
Right.
What have I done, man? What have I done?
I knew I couldn't breathe. I knew that they were trying to stem the blood, and it was just seeping out everywhere. So then you start to think about your kids and like your family and stuff.
How old are your children?
9, 14 and 15.
Yeah.
So I was just like, please don't let me die. I had a collapsed lung. I had a blood clot formed in my lung that required surgery. The pain was getting more and more unbearable, like deep burning in my chest. And I remember just before I went to surgery, I remember holding one of the nurses like tabards and saying, "I just want to die."
That bad? All right, yeah. When you woke up from that, how did you feel?
Because the clot had been under the muscles, they'd had to cut through the muscles.
Right.
So I'd lost a lot of the use of my left arm. I couldn't do anything, just pop into the shop in the car. I couldn't use the car. It was just horrendous. So he got 9 years for both stabbings, and then 5 years on licence.
And do you know the reason why he did what he did?
No, and I read in court, when we went to court, I read a personal statement out to him, and he didn't answer me, and he just stared at me the whole time. Every day I relive your face and that knife in my chest. That day you took all I am away from me. You took my confidence, my humour, my trust in nature and my happiness. My hair began to fall out through stress, and I've had counselling sessions just to be able to get a part of me back.
Your sentence will not give me back the time that I lost. Neither will it take away my painful and ugly scar or the mental stress you caused. However, it will hopefully, your sentence will be enough to act as a deterrent to others who think it is okay to attack other emergency services when they have made a choice to simply do a job.
Bring it all to the surface.
Yeah.
Do you think about him, or do you sort of block him away and not have that in your head?
I think about him all the time. It broke relationships down with my children, my family. It completely destroyed me, but then I'm lucky because I'm not dead.
Do you feel like you've moved forward from it?
So I went home and had physiotherapy on my arm. It's a slow progress. I thought, right, what can I do to speed it up a little bit? And I was flicking through Instagram and I came across some circus skills.
Right.
So I took that up.
Amazing.
And that's how I built the strength up in my arm.
Has your bravery been acknowledged through what's happened?
We've had a few awards. So we had the Sun Who Cares Wins Award. A few months ago we got the Pride of Birmingham.
Amazing.
So the Pride of Britain. And then we've had like a few chief commendations. There's a silver medal that we've had from the police.
Yeah. So you wouldn't go back to doing the paramedic stuff?
I could be a paramedic, put me in the house.
Yeah.
I could do my job, no problem.
Yeah.
But it's just knocking on that door.
Ready? Spin your way around.
Oh,
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I love
Yeah?
it.
So it's nice and soft, tidies all this up. So you just see it gives it a little bit of shape, softens it, pulls all this together. Looking nice and fresh and ready.
Do you mind if we have a selfie?
Oh yeah, amazing, let's do it, 100%. Cool, well it's been great chatting to you.
Yes.
Can we hug it out?
Thank you.
Yeah? Someone with 3 children, I cannot imagine what was going through her head. When Deena was lying on the grass, bleeding out, saying goodbye to her family. Deena's job was to save lives, and it was horrific that she was the one that needed saving. Next in the chair is Vanesa.
Hi.
Hello, Vanesa.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
I'm James. Do you want to come take a seat?
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to do anything particular?
I just want a nice clean up and just take a little bit of length off, but obviously not masses.
If we create a bit more of a shape through here, because that would really suit your face and just open it up a little bit more, would you be happy to do that?
Sounds great to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
So I'm actually a private investigator.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. I get
Okay.
that reaction all the
Yeah?
time.
Do you? Is that the reaction?
I know.
Literally like that?
Every time
Okay.
I tell people, they're like, what?
How did you get into that?
Doing criminology and stuff with criminal justice has always been something I wanted to do since
Yeah.
a very, very young age.
What does a day look like for you then? Give me a lowdown.
God, so no 2 days are ever the same. It's always different. You never know what's going to come on the other end of the phone when it rings. We go from reconstructing murders to dealing with cheating partners, forensic evidence. We have a lot of people that come to us for theft, so we have to do forensic evidence for that. A lot of malicious mail or money being stolen. We actually had a big corporate gym that came to us that had over like 8K stolen from a safe.
Right.
We had to go into that gym and kind of do witness statements off of everyone. We did kind of narrow it down to 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
We then took the safe and we dusted it for fingerprints and lifted the fingerprints. One guy actually ended up admitting to it.
Have you got any really kind of good relationship stories, affair stories? That's probably like, if you think of PI, that's what most people think about straight away. So is that quite common?
It is, yeah. Do you know what? When I first started, I thought it was mainly just the men that cheat more.
Right.
Since working there, God, the women as well.
Really?
It's just crazy. I actually had a case around Christmas time where I had to go undercover to a house viewing. This mother and father, they've obviously gotten divorced. Previously, she was caught having an affair with some guy. She was lying to the courts about her living situation and with her kids. The house was actually put up on a market just so she could obviously get more money out of the divorce. Turns out that she was actually living with the guy that she had an affair with. The ex-husband came to us and he needed to get some evidence that no one was obviously living in that house. So we kind of had to ask the right questions to try and get as much as we could from the estate agent. We had observations to kind of prove that they weren't living in there. So there was actually one occasion that I got caught by a nosy neighbour.
Right.
It's always the neighbours that are the problem. So I was obviously parked outside the house. I had to use my initiative and cry my way out of the situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
I basically just created like a sob story of having some family troubles at home. I had a blanket and a hot water bottle in my car, which kind of helped my case a bit. But we came to the verdict, and the ex-husband, he took it all to court and he managed to get custody of his children again.
Any tricks of the trade or things you use?
I do actually have in my pocket
Oh, yeah, cool.
a pen camera, just because I came straight from the office.
Right.
I usually just carry it around. This is something that we use for our observations.
Okay.
It does take a little while to
Doesn't
kind of
it?
fiddle with it to make sure you've got the right angles. But it's
Okay.
so subtle, like no one would even know.
So dangerously
yeah,
subtle,
until
isn't
someone asks you for a pen, but...
And you're like, can't have this pen. Not this pen. Sorry,
Exactly.
this is my special
Yeah,
pen.
exactly.
Do you wear sort of disguises? Do you wear wigs? Do you wear what do you or do you just stay as you?
Do you know what? It's not like the cliched cap and trench
No.
coat. It kind of depends on the jobs. You do have to be able to adapt to different situations and blend into different environments.
How have you got any like real poignant stories that have stuck in your head of experiences you've had?
Actually, the first month of me starting the job, I was kind of like thrown straight in the deep end, literally.
Okay.
We had some individuals that came to us that had some suspicions of a death that happened within the family. Their son had drowned in a pool.
How old was he?
He was around 30. The police and the coroner came to an open verdict, which the family were dissatisfied with. They had some suspicions on the way that their son had died. The boy was actually really scared of water and couldn't swim. Sometimes he did even struggle to kind of have a bath or showers because he was genuinely scared of water.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's where obviously the questions started to happen why he did end up in the pool. Our job was to reconstruct the death. I was a similar height to the guy, but I wasn't the same weight. So I had to wear a weighted jacket. Here you can see how big the jacket actually was.
Yeah. What did you discover? Did you learn anything new?
Some things didn't actually add up with some of the family members' statements when we recreated it. The mother was the one that pulled him out. She said she pulled him by the ear. When we tried to reconstruct it, it was near enough impossible.
So what was the conclusion to that then?
It kind of led to the guy dying not being an accident.
Right.
It does kind of not point the finger at them, but subtly the evidence doesn't lie.
Yeah. And then obviously they've got the harder evidence to then take to police if they want to.
Yeah,
It's kind of on them.
Exactly, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Round.
Oh my God,
Feeling good?
this looks insane.
Feeling like a different person?
This is unreal.
Yeah. So it just gives it a nice little blow dry and pops all the haircut we've done.
It's been really lovely just to have someone listen to me. It's great to share all my stories. Would it be okay to get a selfie?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Let's get it done.
You've done a really good job.
Amazing.
Thank you
Good.
so much.
Glad you're happy. What an unusual job for such a young person. When I think of private investigators, Vanesa is not the image that first comes to mind. It's opened my mind to how many people use their services. Just getting ready for my next client. As ever, all I've got is a name. Let's find out their story. Next in the chair is Stacey.
Hi.
Hello, you must be Stacey.
I am, yeah. Hiya.
James, nice to meet you.
you.
Do you want to come take a seat?
Lovely, thank you.
What are we doing?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Okay, cool.
I've got the bangs, they're kind of growing out a little bit, so I like to have my face framed.
Okay, nice. You like to have an element of that. Do you tie it up a lot?
Yeah, you know, like so it's up, so I can still have bits down
Nice.
when
It
it's
kind of hangs out a bit.
Yeah.
So we kind of keep that, and I can maybe add an element of like this to it, so you get a bit through kind of here. Nice. So Stacey, what's an average day like for you?
Well, I'm a crime scene cleaner.
Amazing.
I know.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so
I'm intrigued. I want to know more.
every day for me is different. Crime or murder
Yeah, of course, yeah.
or suicide, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's intense. What's the most sort of like shocking crime scenes you've been into?
I think the very first one you always remember.
Okay.
And my very first one was for a child. Yeah, that was quite difficult. They were living in a house that had been used as a drug den. There was needles everywhere. The toys that this child had to play with, there was needles inside shoes, clothes everywhere, dirty nappies.
Awful.
You know, disposing of these child's belongings was tough. That will stay with me forever.
Hits home.
It really does, and that's when you need to take a minute. I mean, for me personally, once I'm in, I don't leave until it's done. We'd been called up to a property because the neighbours had noticed a smell. So what had happened with this person is they had collected so much stuff, they'd literally hoarded themselves in to their bedroom, and they'd passed away because their own belongings had fallen on them and they couldn't get out.
No way.
Christmas is particularly is a busy time. I think people feel very lonely, and that's when a lot of things happen.
From being in those experiences and dealing with that, does that affect your day-to-day life?
So first of all, it's assessing who's right for that job.
Yeah.
And then obviously when we get there, we just kind of get on with it. And then it's when we leave, we always have a post-job Kit Kat.
Okay.
And then we kind of just, make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that struck out that they need to talk about? Anything they've seen that's landed with them?
Any ones that really stand out to you?
The job that I do can be quite obviously doom and gloom, and I see a lot of things that are quite awful. Probably one of the worst ones we had was with a shotgun suicide. We were cleaning and we found someone's earlobe with a shotgun. Wherever they've shot themselves, it literally goes right through you, goes everywhere. Sometimes we go to places where someone's been stabbed, there's a lot of blood. The blood goes everywhere.
Really?
So there was one guy that had, unfortunately, in the night, had a stomach ulcer that had burst. Literally, it went everywhere. So everywhere you look, there's blood. It was on the roof, like the ceiling, the walls, everywhere. It's horrific. The amount of blood that was there, I can show you, but yeah, it was a lot. So as you can see, it was around the walls, all in the beds. This is what we walked into.
Awful.
That was once we'd cleared like a lot of it away,
So
it was everywhere. There's splatter goes everywhere. Yeah.
Obviously, it's very sad and upsetting to see that. Do you sort of let yourself feel a bit of that, or do you just get on with it?
But this particular guy survived.
Oh, he was. Oh, really?
So
oh,
he'd
right.
been taken to hospital. We were just going in there to clean it for when he came back.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that was better.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So obviously the first thing is PPE.
Right.
You need to get completely geared up in everything.
Okay.
From masks to suits to gloves, and assess. So if there's blood, because of lots of bloodborne pathogens. I mean, we've been to suicides, which is what we would refer to as a clean suicide. So they'll put themselves inside a bath. It's not everywhere that we need to clean. We've had one person that put themselves inside like a paddling pool with a tent around it.
Right.
But then we've also had people, that have hung themselves in the roof and there's stairs beneath them, and there's only so long that the head will stay attached to the body.
Yeah.
And then that will just cause a mess if it's fallen down the stairs and gone everywhere. And then obviously you need to decontaminate it first, so you sanitise the area first. So we go from cleaning it to then decorating it, especially if we have to cut away carpets, we have to cut away floorboards.
So you'll take it back to like, it's sellable now?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Completely renovate the house, yeah. We have to make sure that anything that isn't hazardous and can be salvaged, we dispose of that responsibly. Clothes go to charity shops. Any food that we find that's non-perishable goes to food banks. We sent a lot of stuff over to Ukraine.
Oh, amazing.
So everything that we can reuse and recycle, we do as well. We want to make sure that person's life and their belongings still continue to make an impact.
Yeah. So with the smells and stuff, obviously smells remind you of lots of things. Does that bring up memories and things? Or does it stick with you?
Yeah, once you've smelt a dead body, especially decomposing, you can't, it stays with you. Yeah, you can't unsmell it, sorry,
Okay.
It depends on the cycle of how long the body's been decomposing for, but you've got the life cycle of the flies in there as well. So you've got the adult flies, the maggots, the pupae, all of that are kind of all in the property as well. And we have a mask that's like fitted to your face, so you go for like a measurement. So when you're actually in there, you can't really smell it. It's when you come out, that's when you smell it. And the filters in the mask are then black.
sounds like, for me talking to you, that you feel like you're really giving something to like people with the whole situation. You're part of it, and it's
and making
more
a
than just
difference.
cleaning. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is definitely. I mean, especially when we go to places where a lot of the suicides obviously are mental health. If we know the reason why the person committed suicide, or after speaking with their family, if we like a portion of the profit that we get from the cleaning, we donate to the charity.
Oh, amazing.
So that we can give something back. So from a tragedy, you want to have something that's positive. Exactly.
Yeah. Amazing. We're going to spin you round, show you what's going on. You can open your eyes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it just adds that texture, loosens it, you feel that straight away. It'll be good when it's curly, when it's straight.
I love the volume as well at the top. Before I go, can we have a selfie?
Of course, yeah, 100%, love to. As a father, the story about the child I find totally heartbreaking, and I struggle to see how that is even a thing in the world. Chatting to Stacey, feeling her energy and her enthusiasm in her work, it's fantastic to hear that she takes a lot of positives from it and puts that out into the world. Just getting ready for my next client. As ever, all I've got is a name. Let's find out their story.